Hello students, I welcome you all to today's session. I hope all of you are doing perfect at your places. Today's topic is heat and its effects. Learning object is how much hot or cold is anything, measuring the temperature and transfer of heat. Heat is a very important form of energy. Most of the living things use this energy to live. The sun is the ultimate source of heat on earth. Heat flows from the one body to another, when there is energy difference in the temperature, it is the transfer of energy from a hotter body to a cooler body. The temperature indicates the degree of hotness or coldness of a body or a place. Therefore, heat is a form of energy which causes the sensation of hotness and coldness, and temperature is measured with a thermometer. So, around us we have hot temperatures also, we have cool temperatures also, and always एक hotter degree से हमेशा cooler तरफ या cooler temperature या environment की तरफ ही आपकी energy travel करती है, and temperature is measured with a thermometer. Now, how much hot or cold is anything? We come across many hot and cold objects in our day-to-day activities. Sometimes the sense of touch can be used to understand the degree of hotness or coldness, but it is not reliable and cannot be always used to say how much hot anything is. तो आसपास बहुत सारी ठंडी गर्म सब चीज़ें होती हैं, but again these are relative terms. कोई चीज़ गर्म होती है, किसी और चीज़ के कंपैरिजन में आप उसको टच करोगे तो वो आपको कूलर भी लग सकती है. So hotness and coolness are the relative terms. Mind-boggling, how do we know that if an object is hot or cold? Simply by touching it. Now, the activity to observe if sense of touch can be used as a reliable technique to measure temperature. Take three vessels A, B and C. Fill vessels A with ice cold water, vessel B with normal tap water and vessel C with warm water. Now, dip your right hand in vessel A and left hand in vessel C as shown in step A. What do you observe now? You will observe that your right hand in vessel A feels cold while your left hand in vessel C feels warm. Now put both your hands in vessel B as shown in the step B, and now what do you observe now? You will feel that your right hand feels warm while your left hand feels cold. But actually the water in vessel B is neither hot nor cold. This proves that your body cannot measure temperature correctly. तो तीन vessels लोगे, तीनों में अलग अलग temperature का water अगर आप रखोगे and relatively अलग अलग time पे अगर आप अपने हाथों को dip करोगे तो आपको कभी एक tap का बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म पानी लगेगा, दूसरे के साथ कंपेयर करोगे तो कूलर भी लग सकता है. So hand or just the sense of touch is not at all a reliable method to find out the temperature of different things. So moreover, using the sense of touch can be risky when an object is very hot. The sensation of hotness or coldness depends upon the direction of flow of heat. When heat flows from the object to our body, it appears hot to us. When heat flows from our body to the object, it appears cold to us. The degree of hotness of an object on some chosen scale is measured in terms of temperature. The hotter is an object, the higher is the temperature. So an object appears hot if its temperature is higher than of our body. On the other hand, an object appears cold if its temperature is lower than that of our body. तो आपका अगर body का temperature higher है, ऑब्जेक्ट का उससे कम है, तो वो ऑब्जेक्ट आपको कूलर अपीयर होगा और टच करने पे भी आपको ठंडा लगेगा. वहीं पे अगर आपका टेम्परेचर इज लोअर दैन द टेम्परेचर ऑफ दैट ऑफ योर ऑब्जेक्ट तो आपको ऑब्जेक्ट गर्म लगेगा. Now measuring the temperature. Temperature is measured with a thermometer. A thermometer is a device used to find out how hot something is. So thermometer is that particular device जिससे आप टेम्परेचर को रिलायबिलिटी के साथ, फुल एक्यूरेसी के साथ मेजर कर सकते हो. Now in common use, temperature is measured on the Celsius scale denoted by degrees Celsius and read it as degrees Celsius. The temperature at which pure water freezes is taken to be 0 degrees Celsius. This is called the lower fixed point. And the temperature at which pure water boils is taken as 100 degrees Celsius, and this is called the upper fixed point. तो डिग्रीज सी, तो इसको डिग्रीज सेल्सियस के नाम से बोलते हैं. इससे आप टेम्परेचर को मेजर करके लिखते हो, जिसपे 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे आपका वाटर फ्रीज हो जाता है, 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे बॉईल करता है. Now factor period, the lower fixed point and upper fixed point are taken at sea level. Now the other two scales used to measure temperature are Fahrenheit scale and the Kelvin scale. Fahrenheit is written as degrees F and read as degree Fahrenheit. On this scale, the freezing point of water is 32 degrees Fahrenheit and the boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. अब Fahrenheit और Kelvin बाकी के दो डिग्रीज हैं, लिखा इसको डिग्री F से जाता है. यहाँ पर फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट आपका 32 डिग्रीज Fahrenheit होता है और बॉइलिंग पॉइंट होता है 212 डिग्रीज Fahrenheit. Then Kelvin is written as K and read as Kelvin. On this scale, the freezing point of water is approximately 273 Kelvin and the boiling point is about 373 Kelvin. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. The standard unit of temperature is Kelvin, जहाँ पे boiling point आपका होता है 373 K and the freezing point is 273 Kelvin. Now, did you know if C, F and K are the temperature of a body on the Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin scales respectively, then the three scales are related as degrees Celsius divided by 100 is equals to degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 divided by 180 is equals to Kelvin minus 273 divided by 100. तो यहाँ पे आपके डिवाइड तो सबको 100, 180 और 100 से किया गया है. ऊपर जो पॉइंट्स लिए गए हैं वो वाटर के फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट्स हैं. Now we have different kinds of thermometer. Number one is your clinical thermometer. Clinical or doctor's thermometer is used to measure our body temperature. The scale of temperature ranges from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius and from 94 degrees Fahrenheit to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature of human body always remains within this range, and the clinical thermometer has a long narrow thin glass tube with the bulb at one end and the bulb contains mercury. A fine thread of mercury can be seen outside the bulb. तो clinical जिसको डॉक्टर्स थर्मोमीटर भी बोलते हैं, इसके बीच की जो रेंज होती है इट इज 32 डिग्री सेल्सियस टू 42 डिग्री सेल्सियस या फिर 94 डिग्रीज फ़ारेनहाइट से लेकर 108 डिग्रीज फ़ारेनहाइट, और इन्हीं के बीच में आपके ह्यूमन बॉडी का टेम्परेचर रहता है. There is a narrow constriction or kink in the capillary tube just above the bulb. When the mercury expands, it pushes through the constriction, but when it is taken out of the patient's mouth, mercury does not go back to the bulb. So the doctor can read the patient's temperature easily. The mercury can be brought back into the bulb by giving it a jerk after the thermometer has been read. तो जैसे ही आप थर्मोमीटर को अपने अंडर आर्म में या फिर अपने माउथ में रखते हो, मर्क्यूरी एक्सपैंड करता है टेम्परेचर राइज की वजह से, एग्जैक्ट रीडिंग दे देता है. माउथ के बाहर निकालते ही वो अपने नेचुरल पोजीशन पे आता भी नहीं है. उसको नेचुरल पोजीशन में लाने के लिए 2-3 बार उसको जर्क देना पड़ता है, तभी उसका मर्क्यूरी का पोजीशन नॉर्मल बेयर मिनिमम पे आ जाता है. Now, reading a clinical thermometer and measuring temperature. Take a clinical thermometer and hold it horizontally with reading scale towards your eye. Do not hold the thermometer from the bulb. Rotate the thermometer slightly clockwise and anti-clockwise and you will see a shiny, thin, silvery thread. The end of the silvery thread shows the reading of the temperature. If mercury lining ends at 37, the reading is 37 degrees Celsius. Now wash the bulb end of the thermometer with an antiseptic solution. Give 2 or 3 jerks slightly. By doing this, the mercury level would fall. When it falls to 35 degrees Celsius below, put it below the tongue and wait for 1 minute. Take out the thermometer and read the temperature. Thermometer को read कैसे करते हैं? सिंपली अपना थर्मोमीटर निकालिए, उसको थोड़ा सा जर्क दीजिए, माउथ में रखिए और बाहर निकालिए. उसमें जो भी टेम्परेचर की रीडिंग आएगी, जहाँ तक मर्क्यूरी आपका एक्सपैंड कर गया है, दैट इज द टेम्परेचर ऑफ योर बॉडी. Now a factopedia, the normal temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius and this can differ from person to person. Now precautions while reading a clinical thermometer. Read the thermometer keeping the level of mercury along with the line of sight. The mercury level should be below 35 degrees Celsius. The thermometer should not be held by the bulb while reading it. The thermometer should be held with care. If it hits against some hard object, it can break. It should be washed with an antiseptic solution before and after use. तो यूज़ करने से पहले बाद में एंटीसेप्टिक सोल्यूशन से आपको वॉश करना है, बल्ब से उसको पकड़ना नहीं है, नीचे नहीं देखना है. थर्मोमीटर को रीड करते हुए आपके आई लेवल पे होना चाहिए. Then second we have the laboratory thermometer. Thermometer commonly used in the laboratory consists of a fine narrow glass tube. This tube has a small thin bulb at its lower end. This bulb and a small portion of the tube are filled with the pure and dry mercury. The air in the portion of the tube above mercury is removed by evacuation and the upper end of the tube is then sealed. The portion of the capillary tube above the bulb, commonly called the stem, is graduated in degree, usually from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. The bigger marks normally reads 1 degree Celsius. If there are 5 divisions between 2 bigger marks, each small division reads 1/5 of a degree or 0.2 degrees Celsius. Such a thermometer can be safely used for measuring temperatures between 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. So these are all the markings in between your clinical or your laboratory thermometers. You have different readings, and by following the simple procedures, you can easily use the thermometer of the laboratory as well. Now there's an activity to observe the effect of temperature on mercury using a laboratory thermometer. Take 3 conical flasks. In the first flask, add 100 ml of tap water. In the second flask, add 100 ml of ice cold water. In the third flask, add 100 ml of hot water. Put a rubber stopper with a hole on each. One by one, dip the laboratory thermometer in the 3 flasks. Make sure that the bulb is immersed in water and does not touch the bottom or the sides of the flask. Observe the movement of mercury in the thermometer in each flask. Wait till the mercury thread becomes steady. Note the temperature in each case and record it in the table given below. अब आपको क्या करना है, आपको टैप वाटर, आइस कोल्ड वाटर, हॉट वाटर लेना है, उसमें आपको थर्मोमीटर को इमर्स करना है. जब तक आपका मर्क्यूरी एक्सपैंड होकर रुक नहीं जाता है तब तक आपको उसको अंदर ही रखना है. जैसे ही थर्मोमीटर में मर्क्यूरी स्टॉप हो जाए वहीं पे रीडिंग लेके आपको यहाँ पर लिख देना है. हीटिंग एक्सपैंड्स मर्क्यूरी whereas cooling contracts it. Now the difference between a clinical and a laboratory thermometer. Clinical thermometer is used to measure the body temperature. Clinical thermometer is scaled from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius, 94 degrees Fahrenheit to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Mercury level does not fall on its own as there is a kink near the bulb to prevent fall of mercury level. Temperature can be read after removing the thermometer from armpit or mouth. To lower the mercury level, jerks are given. Laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature in laboratory. Laboratory thermometer is generally scaled from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Mercury level falls on its own as no kink is present. Temperature is read while keeping the thermometer in the source, such as liquid or anything. No need to give jerks as it falls down automatically. So these are the basic differences between a clinical and a laboratory thermometer which we have just studied. This was just a summarized version of what we have just read. Third, we have the digital thermometer. Digital thermometer, reading of temperature is displayed digitally as in digital watches. It has plastic body with a display screen. This is safe because no mercury is used in it. अब सबसे ज़्यादा लेटेस्ट जो यूज़ आ रहा है वो है आपका डिजिटल थर्मोमीटर. मर्क्यूरी इसमें यूज़ होता नहीं है. डिजिटली आपको नंबर्स में दिखा दिया जाता है टेम्परेचर एंड इट इज़ वेरी वेरी सेफ टू यूज़. Now there's a factopedia. Infrared thermometer is a type of digital thermometer that is able to measure temperature from a distance. Infrared thermometer detects radiation from the body. The radiation from the body is measured and turned into heat by an infrared thermometer. The heat is then turned into electricity and sent to a detector which then produces a number on the display to say what the temperature of the body is. So this is just a fact. You can just give it a read before going to your exams and this will be really helpful to you. Now maximum and minimum thermometer. Maximum and minimum thermometer is used to measure the daily temperature in a day of a place or prepare reports. It is a U-shaped tube filled with alcohol and mercury. The right tube gives us maximum temperature with the left tube gives us the minimum temperature. Then you have maximum minimum thermometers. ये आपको maximum चीज़ों को या बहुत गर्म या बहुत ठंडी चीज़ों का जो आपको temperature निकालना होता है, so you use these kinds of thermometers. Then comes the transfer of heat. Heat always flows from a body at higher temperature to another body at lower temperature. As a result of heat flow, the temperature of the hotter body falls and that of the colder body rises. The flow of heat stops when temperature of the two bodies becomes equal. Now, हमेशा जो आपका टेम्परेचर होता है या हीट का ट्रांसफर होता है हॉटर बॉडी से कूलर बॉडी की तरफ जाता है. Now there are 3 ways in which heat can be transferred from one body to another: conduction, convection and radiation. Let's study about them one by one. So number 1 is conduction. Transfer of heat from hotter part to the colder part without the actual movement of the particles of the medium is known as conduction of heat. In solids, heat is transferred by this process. For example, if we take a piece of stiff copper wire and hold in the flame, the copper wire becomes warm. After some time, the copper wire becomes hot, and this is because heat is transferred from flame to the copper wire. तो आप सबसे पहले होता है conduction, जिसमें आपका हीट एक बॉडी से जो ऑलरेडी हीट अप हो रही है उससे दूसरी बॉडी में आपकी ट्रांसफर हो जाती है. Now there is an activity to prove that heat travels in metals via conduction. Take an iron rod, fix 4 iron nails on it with wax, place the rod as shown in the figure alongside, heat the free end of the rod with a candle. What do you observe? You will observe that the iron nail closest to the heated end of the rod falls as the wax melts. After some time, the second nearest nail falls and so on. And from this activity, you can conclude that heat travels from one end to another through conduction. तो ये activity जब आप करोगे, तो you will notice कि metals में जो heat transfer होता है, it happens via conduction. Now, heat conduction from an object to another takes place under the following 2 conditions. The 2 objects should be in direct contact and temperature of the 2 objects should be different. जो दो आपके objects हैं कंडक्शन के थ्रू जब हीट आपको ट्रांसफर करनी है, दोनों एक दूसरे के कॉन्टैक्ट में यानी कि टच में होने चाहिए और दोनों का टेम्परेचर बॉडी टेम्परेचर डिफरेंट होना चाहिए. Now comes the insulators and conductors. All solids do not allow heat to pass through them with an equal ease. Some allow heat to pass through them faster than others, whereas some do not allow the passages of heat through them. Materials which allow heat to flow through them easily are called conductors of heat. All metals such as silver, copper, aluminum, iron, brass, stainless steel, etc. and the alloys are good conductors of heat. Materials which do not allow heat to flow through them easily are called the poor conductors of heat or non-conductors or insulators of heat. Materials such as wood, paper, glass, asbestos, bakelite, etc. are non-conductors of heat. कंडक्टर्स आते हैं जो हीट को कंडक्ट करवाते हैं, एंड देन ऑन द ऑपोजिट हैंड बैड कंडक्टर्स या फिर इंसुलेटर्स होते हैं विच डू नॉट लेट हीट टू पास थ्रू देम. Now there's a factopedia. Most liquids and gases are poor conductors of heat. Now did you know both conductors and insulators of heat are useful for us? The materials which are good conductors of heat are used wherever heat is to be transferred fast, and whereas insulators are used to prevent the transfer of heat. So both conductors and insulators are equally useful for us. Now following are the some uses of conductors and insulators. Good conductors of heat, metals and their alloys are used for making cooking utensils. Insulators are used for making handles of the cooking utensils. Sometimes the handle of a metal kettle is converted or covered with cane because cane does not conduct heat. Materials such as bricks, asbestos, sheets, mud, etc. used in house buildings do not allow heat from outside to enter the house during the summer. These materials during winter do not allow heat from inside to go out. Many insulators contain tiny pockets of trapped air to prevent transfer of heat. For example, woolen clothes do not allow our body heat to escape to the surroundings during winter due to trapped air. This air prevents the flow of heat from our body to the cold surroundings. Insulators such as bakelite, ebonite, dry wood, etc. are used for making handles of electric iron or cookwares. तो ऐसे ही कंडक्टर्स और इंसुलेटर्स की कॉम्बिनेशंस में आपको डेली बेसिस पे बहुत सारे ऐसे आर्टिकल्स दिखेंगे जिसमें इन दोनों का यूज करा जाता है. Now check yourself, give 2 examples of heat insulators and non-conductors and insulators of heat, and this question you have to answer on your own. Then second is through convection. The transfer of heat due to movement of the molecules of the medium is called convection. When liquids and gases are heated, heat is carried from one part to another by the actual movement of the hot particles. This movement of particles due to the temperature difference between parts of the same substance is due to convection. Only liquids and gases transfer heat by convection. Air too is not a good conductor of heat. Being a gas, it can flow and spread fast and also transfers heat by convection. अब आप molecules में जब आपका कोई attraction होता है, एक molecule दूसरे molecule तक जाता है और उससे जब heat transfer होती है, that happens because of convection. Liquids और gases के case में convection से ही heat transfer किया जाता है. Now factopedia. Solids cannot transfer heat by convection because in solids constituent particles cannot leave their positions. Now there's an activity to show that water transfer heat via convection. Take a conical flask and keep it on an iron stand. Fill it half with cold water. To it, add a large crystal of potassium permanganate. Heat it over a burner as shown in the figure given alongside. What do you observe? You will observe that when the crystal is dropped in water, some of it dissolves and gives a pink color to water. As the water near the crystal is heated, it becomes lighter and rises. The rising water is hot and its molecules vibrate fast. In this process, they strike the molecules of cold water which come in their way and transfer some of their energy to them. As a result, the vibrations are reduced and rising water becomes cold, and in the meantime, more hot water rises, pushing the cold water towards the side of the flask. From the sides, cold water comes down. This shows that water transfer heat by the movement of molecules from hotter to colder region through convection. तो ये convection आप जब पानी भी boil करते हो तो भी आप notice कर सकते हो. पानी हमेशा बीच से जब convection होता है तो आपका पानी इस तरीके से, convection में हमेशा आपके molecules इस तरीके से move out करते हैं. जो hotter पानी, colder parts होते हैं नीचे के, वो आपके move होते हुए side में जाते हैं और इस तरीके से पूरा liquid या जो भी gas के molecules हैं उसमें heat transfer हो जाती है. If we heat water in a pot, the water near the bottom of the pot gets heated first. It rises up. The colder water from the surroundings moves down, gets heated and rises up. This process continues until the entire water attains a uniform temperature, and this cycle movement of water during heating sets the convection current. Air near the source of heat warms and rises up. This leaves a gap which is filled by the colder air from the surroundings, and the convection current thus starts in air, resulting into heating of air. And third process is radiation. We feel warm when we sit in the sun, in front of fire or in front of an electric heater. There is no direct contact between us and the source of heat. The air between us and the source of heat is a bad conductor of heat. Therefore, heat transfer cannot be due to conduction. It cannot be the convection because hot air rises upwards and not towards us. In fact, heat from any distant source reaches us by another mode of heat transfer called the radiation, or direct transfer of heat from a hot body to a cold body having no contact between them and without the help of any medium is called radiation. The sun transfer heat by radiation. अब रेडिएशन से हीट ट्रांसफर करने के लिए आपको किसी डायरेक्ट कॉन्टैक्ट की या मीडियम की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. जैसे सन से आपको डायरेक्ट हीट आती है, बीच में कोई मीडियम भी नहीं होता है, स्टिल आपको सूरज की गर्माहट महसूस हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ रेडिएशन. Now, mind-boggling, how does heat travel from the sun, from the fire and from the electric heater to us? कन्वेक्शन से आता है, रेडिएशन से आता है या कंडक्शन से आता है? तीनों में से आपको इसका आंसर देना है. Now, all hot objects, whether solids, liquids or gases, transfer heat by radiation. Radiation needs no medium. Transfer of heat by radiation can occur even in vacuum. तो रेडिएशन को हीट ट्रांसफर करने के लिए मीडियम की जरूरत नहीं होती है. Now, reflection and absorption of radiation. When radiation falls on a body, a part of it is absorbed by the body and some part is reflected. The absorption of radiant heat by a body causes an increase in its temperature. The quantity of heat absorbed by a body depends on its distance from the source of heat. Black bodies are better heat absorbers than the white bodies, and black bodies are also better heat radiators than the white bodies. तो आपका surface किस कलर का है उस पर भी डिपेंड करता है कि रेडिएशन आपकी कितनी ज़्यादा absorb होगी. Black clothes or the black surfaces will always absorb and radiate more heat. On the other hand, white surfaces will always absorb less and radiate also less. Now, there is an activity to prove that black bodies absorb and radiate heat better than white bodies. Take two identical cold drinks cans filled with equal amount of water. Paint one can black and the other white. Place a thermometer in each can with the bulb of the thermometer properly dipped in water. Now, place both the cans at an equal distance from the room heater. Switch the heater on and let it remain on for 15 minutes. Observe the reading in the thermometers. You will observe that the temperature reading in the thermometer placed in the black can is higher than the thermometer placed in the white can. This is so because black surface is a better absorber of heat radiation than white surface. After switching off the heater, both the cans start emitting radiation to the surroundings. Leave them undisturbed for 10 minutes. Now check the readings in the thermometers. You will observe that the reading in the thermometer placed in the black can falls more rapidly than the thermometer placed in the white can. This is so because black surface is a better radiator of heat radiation than the white surfaces, and black bodies absorb and radiate more heat than the white bodies. By doing this following activity, you will start to know that black bodies always radiate and absorb more heat, and white bodies will always absorb and radiate lesser heat. Now, similarly, a bright shiny surface is a poor absorber of heat radiation because it reflects the radiation falling on it. For example, an electric room heater is provided with a curved polished metal reflector behind the heating element. This polished surface reflects back all the heat radiation falling on it towards the person sitting in front of the room heater. तो आपके जो room heaters होते हैं उसका बैक surface भी आपका किसी dark color से ही polished होता है ताकि heat आपकी absorb भी हो जाए और उतनी ही तेजी से फिर radiate भी हो जाए the person who is sitting just in front of the heater. Then the inner walls of a thermos flask also have polished reflecting surfaces so that they absorb little heat and reflect most of it. We wear white or light colored clothes during summer. This is because white or light colored clothes absorb lesser heat and keep us cool during summer. Black or dark colored clothes absorb more heat and keep us warm during the winters. Woolen clothes keep us warm. Wool is a poor conductor of heat and it has air trapped between the fibers. This prevents the heat of our body to flow outside and thus we feel warm. And these are the reasons कि गर्मियों में हमेशा लाइट कपड़े पहनने के लिए बोला जाता है ताकि हीट absorb भी कम हो. absorb कम होगी तो रेडिएट भी आपकी कम ही करेगी. एंड लाइकवाइज आपका विंटर्स में वुलन कपड़े या डार्क कलर के कपड़े पहने जाते हैं. Now, there is a glimpse of chapter. Temperature, the degree of hotness or coolness of an object. Conduction, transfer of heat and solids from one particle to its neighbor. Insulators, substances that do not allow heat to pass through them. Conductors, substances that allow heat to pass through them. Convection, transfer of heat in fluids in which particles of the fluid themselves move from one region to another. Radiation, transfer of heat from a hotter body to a cooler body with medium. Now the summary of the chapter. Heat is a form of energy which causes the sensation of hotness and coldness. The degree of hotness or coldness of an object on some chosen scale is measured in terms of temperature. Temperature is measured with a thermometer. The most commonly used scale on which temperature is measured is the Celsius scale. The flow of heat from one body to another or from one part to another part of the same body is called the transfer of heat. Heat transfer can take place by conduction, convection and radiation. Conduction is a mode of heat transfer in solids which heat passes through as body from the hotter to the colder parts. The materials which allow heat to flow through them easily are called the conductors of heat, while the materials which do not allow heat to flow through them are called the insulators. Heat transfer, in which heat is carried from hotter part of a substance to its colder part of actual movement of the medium particles, is called the convection. Only liquids and gases transfer heat by convection. Solids cannot transfer heat by convection. Direct transfer of heat from a hot body to a cold body having no contact between them without the help of any medium is called the radiation, and all hot substances, solids, liquids and gases transfer heat by radiation. So basically, how does heat transfer? By three different methods is what we have studied in this chapter. Please go through the entire chapter once again properly, and the exercise questions, please do it yourselves.